Okay, there is a verse that talks about God guiding your footsteps, and that verse is Proverbs 16:9, and it says, um, "In their hearts, humans plan their course." So we plan our life, but the Lord establishes their steps. And that is just the verse I'm going to go with for the entire video. That's what I'm going with. I'm going to try and have a verse for every Jesus video I make. And so that is the verse I'm going on for this one, in case you didn't hear it. Proverbs 16:9. "In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." When Christianity can be very frustrating to me. When everyone tells you that you have a calling, that Jesus will reveal that calling to you, and you will know your life's purpose, that is a lie. God will reveal your calling to you, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be what you expect. And just because you have a calling doesn't mean that it's going to have anything to do with being in the ministry or any specific career. For instance, my calling is to inspire others to become the greatest person they can be. And of course, Jesus is the one who actually does that part. I just help them see who they can become. I encourage them to become better. And we can all become better. So that is my calling. Whereas that calling doesn't have anything to do with a specific field. It has to do with any field. I could use that calling to inspire others in any and every field or career that there is out there. I don't need to be in a specific career path for that. Whereas most common belief is that your calling will have to do with your career. Now I'm going to pull up my notes real quick so that I can look at those and stay focused, because I've already gotten off track earlier. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I can't see my notes. I should have written my notes on my phone, but I didn't think about that whenever I was writing them. I always write my notes on my Surface, so it just... Anyway, life goes on. Mistakes are made, lessons are learned. Okay, so while everyone does have a purpose, it's contrary to common belief that it isn't always in ministry. Christians in the church, if you grew up in the church, you'll see that commonly people will say that I already said this, but commonly people will say that your calling shows you what ministry you're supposed to be in. And ministry is sometimes falsely defined. It isn't always defined in the wrong way, but many times it is. Ministry is from the word minister, which also means to attend to the needs of others. And that means that it doesn't necessarily have to do with the church. It doesn't have to do with, it always, of course, has to do with God, but it doesn't have to do with, you don't have to go to another country to be a missionary. You don't have to volunteer at the church necessarily to be fulfilling your calling. Winging it. Oftentimes I feel like I'm winging it, and there are rare moments where I think I know where I'm going, and that is okay. It is okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to not know where you're going. When you grow up, if you grow up in, actually it doesn't matter where you grow up. You are expected to have some kind of plan for your life. You're expected to fulfill certain requirements. You're supposed to go to college. You're expected to have a certain amount of education. All these things are expected of us when our life has been planned out for us from day one to age 18. We've always been told what to do. We've been told where to go to school. We've been told what subjects to take. We've been told what to do our entire life, and now suddenly at 18 we're supposed to know what we want. And I think that's wrong, and I think it's common for all of us to feel like we're just winging it and we don't even know where we're headed. And I think that's okay. I'm a planner, and when I graduated high school, I had no plan. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what my calling was. I became a very cynical person because I was a planner and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with my life. And that led me to becoming a more flexible person. It is easier to follow God into the unknown when you don't have a plan you are attached to. God likes to lead us, but not tell us where we're going. And I mean, sometimes he tells us where we're going, but I find more often than not, he'll lead me in a direction and I won't understand why he's leading me in that direction until after. When he asks me to go talk to someone and encourage them, I don't know what I'm going to say to that person until I get to them. In fact, sometimes God won't tell me what I'm supposed to say to them until I'm sitting next to them. And it's just this awkward silence for a little while. And then God will say, tell them this. Tell them that they're going in the right direction, even though it doesn't look like it. Or tell them that I see them, even though nobody else does. And he'll give me specific things like that once I get there. He'll say, Caitlin, go talk to that girl over there. And I'm like, okay, God. I go over there, okay, now what? What do I say to her? Of course, this is a conversation happening in my head. And then he'll say, Caitlin, I want you to tell her that she is amazingly artistic and that I'm going to use that in her future, or something like that. I used artistic because that's, if you follow my Instagram channel, it's not channel, Instagram profile account, then you know, oh, my light just went out. Oh, it went back. I'll have to fix that later. Anyway, if you follow my Instagram, then you know that I draw a lot. So that was just an easy one to pull out of my hat. But God will give me a specific word, but he doesn't give me a specific word for everyone. That is for sure. He'll just point someone out to me and say, hey, okay, well, that light is that's going to bother me. I'm going to I've got my light plugged in back here behind my backdrop, and it just came unplugged. I thought it was gonna, I was only partially unplugged, but it came all the way unplugged. So I'm gonna fix that because it needs fixing. Anyway, moral of the story, and I know I got a little off track, but moral of the story is that you're not always going to know where you're going. As a Christian, if you believe in God, if you are if you're following him and he is your true love and he is the Lord of your life, then you're not going to know where you're going. I mean, you will sometimes, but you won't always know. And I'm learning that it's better for you to not have a plan. And it's better I mean, backup plans are great. I always have a backup plan. And I have a plan I'm following, but I'm not stuck to it. I'm not planning on it going that direction. I have goals, like I want to go to school, I want to move out, I want to get a full-time job that can support me so I can move out. And I want to go do those things, and those things are definitely planned for the future, but I don't have a specific time set for that to happen or a time I want to have that done by. I'm waiting for God to, I'm just waiting to see what God does as I move forward. And if I get to that later than I expected, that's okay, as long as I'm in God's will. So, guys, I'm winging it when it comes to life. And that's okay. And I believe that is okay for anyone. I mean, it's good to have a basic plan to go with. I have that. I have, the 5-year plan that I'm going to try and, what's the word? I don't know. I'm going to try and fulfill and try and, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words right now. I have a plan for the next few years, but I have a lot of room in that plan for it to change. I have learned to become flexible. So, guys, don't be afraid of winging it. I'm speaking to the planners because I know you people who are super flexible and spontaneous. You guys don't need to learn to be flexible. But planners, we have to learn to be flexible and learn to be okay with the plan not going through. To be like, whatever. I don't care. It's life. It happens. Yeah, we need to learn to be that way. And so, don't be afraid of winging it. Sometimes it's the better option, because otherwise you might miss something because you were so stuck and so tied to the plan that you had rather than the plan he has. Anyway, that is all I have to say. Hopefully that wasn't as rough as I think it is. I love you guys, and I will see you this weekend. I was going to say something about this weekend, but I don't remember what I was going to say now. So it goes. If I come up with something else that I need to tell you guys, I will post an extra video. So, like I said before, I will still be posting a Jesus video every month along with my weekly posts, but I will no longer be having them live because live is just not working right now. And there you have it. I love you guys, and I will see you this weekend.